Welcome to the Final Wager, where I have the pleasure once again of picking apart a very good game. Darren, our defending champ, is looking to become the first multi-day male champion since Arthur Chu, who lost 3 months ago today. That's a long time. He's got the lead 16,000. Katie right on his heels, 15-2. Joe very much alive with 9,000. We'll start with first and second. If Katie doubles up, she will have 30,400, which means to cover her, Darren will need to wager 14,400. If he's wrong with that wager, he will be left with 16,000, which means that Katie can wager up to 13,600 against him. And Joe can wager up to 7,400. Now let's look at second and third. Katie and Joe. If Joe doubles up, you'll have 18,000. So to cover him, Katie can wager 2,800. That'll be her minimum. If she's wrong with that wager, she'll be left with 12,400. That means that Joe, to top that possibility, will need to wager at least 3,400. Alright, now let's look at rule number 3, which says that each player is going to try to cover a zero wager by the other. The difference between Joe and Katie is 6,200. I would say that Joe would want to at least hop in front of Katie and probably hop in front of Darren as well, just in case he does something silly and wagers zero. Not that he has any reason to, so I would put Joe's minimum wager at 7,000. Katie, the difference between these two again is 6,200. I would cap her wager at 6,200 so that she won't lose to Joe just by falling below him. She forces him to get it right in order to beat her. And between these two, Darren and Katie, the difference is 800. So Katie, to cover a zero wager by Darren, we need to wager at least 800, and to cover an unsafe wager by Darren, we need to wager at least 1,600. She's got both of those covered with the 2,800 wager. Now, if we want to look at alternative wagers, there's not too much I'd suggest for Darren. I wouldn't leave off this 400. Actually, it might be kind of safe to do so here. But it's kind of sketchy to assume that Katie will cap her wager at 6,200 because the rule number 3 wager is not as strong as, say, rule number 2 or rule number 1 wager. If he does want to assume that she's going to go for the 6,200, at most, they'll leave her, 21,400. So he could wager 5,400. It's kind of questionable, but certainly possible. Okay, here are our ranges, and I'm going to watch and see how our players did. Back in a sec. Joe, in third place, got it wrong, hilariously, and wagered 6,400, a very good wager, looking to cover a zero by Katie. Katie got it right, and wagered almost everything. Our champ, Darren, also got it right, but wagered just 4,000, so Katie, with a bad wager, wins. She should have capped hers at 13,600, so as not to fall below a rational wager by Darren for the lockout. Darren, I don't have a problem with this 4,000 wager if he's completely unconfident with the category, because it locks out Joe. I would have been happier with this 5,400 amount to cover that sort of strange alternative wager by Katie. But looking for a multi-day male champ, we're going to have to wait at least 2 more days. And tomorrow, Katie defends for the first time. We'll see you then on the Final Wager.